Hello my dear learners, welcome to my channel. In this video series, we are learning Kotlin programming language with practical demonstration. In the previous video, we discussed about what is class, how to create a class in Kotlin, what is object and how to create an object in Kotlin. To learn that concept, please watch my previous video. Now, in this video, we will discuss about what is constructor, what is the use of constructor, how to create a constructor, types of constructor in Kotlin, and what is the use of these keywords in Kotlin practically. So, let's start the session. First of all, let me just give you the basic introduction about what is constructor. Okay, so a constructor is a special method in the object oriented programming that initialize the object when it is created. So when the object is created, this constructor will be called and the object will be initialized by using the particular constructor. A constructor will called automatically internally when the object is created and it will initialize the member of the class for the particular object. Suppose if we have created a class and then we have created an object of the particular class. So when the object of the particular class is created, at that time the constructor will be called automatically and it will initialize the object. So in the Kotlin there is a two type of constructor available. First is a primary constructor and another is a secondary constructor. So what the basic concept of the constructor is, it is a kind of a special method, a special function. It will use to initialize the object when the object is created. Okay, and when the object is created, a constructor will be called and then it will initialize the member of the class for the particular object. So there is a special use of the constructor. When the object is created, at that time the constructor will be called and the constructor is used to initialize the particular object. So in this video, we will understand the constructor by using practically and we will use the Kotlin language to understand what is constructor. In the Kotlin, how to create a constructor and how to call a constructor and how to initialize the object, that we will do practically in this video. So now I am just creating another file for giving you the practical demonstration about constructor. I am creating a file named as constructor and I will create a simple file, not a class file. Okay, so here I will write a main function and then I am just increasing some font size for you guys for proper visualization. So you can see over here I have a return function main over here. It is a starting point of the program execution. Over here I am just creating a simple class, say for example name as employee. Okay, so here what I have created a class name as employee. Okay, and what is class, that is also we have discussed in our previous video. If you want to learn what is class, how to create a class in Kotlin and what is the use of class, you can watch my previous video, right? So over here I have created a class name as employee. A class keyword is used to create a class in the Kotlin. Okay, so this is what we have created, a class name as employee and the class has a particular properties, right? So I am just creating an object of the employee class variable, say for example emp1 equal to new employee. So if you are working on the Java, you can create an object by using a new keyword, but over here there is no new keyword in the Kotlin. Okay, so by using this line number 5 will use to create an object for the particular class. And then you can see over here we have written variable emp1 equal to employee and then I have written round brackets over here. Okay, so round brackets will call the particular constructor. So when this object is created name as emp1, it will call the constructor of the employee class. Okay, and the name of the constructor will be the same as the class name. So over here you can say I have created a class name as employee over here, and if you want to create a constructor in the particular class, there is a keyword in the Kotlin name as constructor. So if you want to create a constructor, then there is a keyword in the Kotlin as a constructor. So constructor is a keyword it is used to create a constructor. So here I have written constructor and then round bracket start and round bracket over. This is what we can say it is a secondary constructor. I have told you in the Kotlin there are two types of constructor, primary constructor and secondary constructor. Okay. Over here I have written a secondary constructor first. After that I will give you the demonstration of the primary also. So you can see it is just a simple 4 line of code. Okay, we have created a class, we have created an object of the particular class, and we have written a constructor for the particular class named as employee. And when the object is created, this constructor will be called. So we can check it by using the print statement in that constructor. Now I am just writing a print statement over here. Say for example, print constructor called. So I am just writing constructor called over here. So when the object is created, the constructor will be called. What is the proof? Here I am giving you the practical demonstration to give you the proof that when the object is created, the constructor will be called. You can see now in the output we are getting constructor called. So what does it mean? It means that when the object is created, the constructor of the particular class will be called automatically and it will use to initialize the object. To initialize the object, there is a certain method by using this keyword. Okay. So by using this keyword, you can initialize the value of the particular object in the constructor. That is also I will give you the demonstration in the same video. So what we have done over here, this is what we have created a simple object over here. You can call like that also directly. I am just writing the round brackets in the class name. Okay, so see over here I have written class employee and then round brackets. Okay, so here also you can put a round bracket in the class name also. It is also allowed, but over here we are getting an error, right? So what is the error? If you define the round brackets after the class name, it means it is a kind of primary constructor. Okay, so this is also a way to define a constructor in the Kotlin. What we have done? Currently we have created a secondary constructor first and then I am providing the primary constructor. So you will get the whole idea about constructor, how constructor works in the Kotlin. This is totally different concept in the Kotlin about the constructor. Like any other language, like as a C, like as a C++, like as a Python. In the Kotlin, it is a totally different concept about the constructor available in the Kotlin language. So over here what we have created, when I am writing the curly brackets after the class name, it will give me the error because we have written the particular primary constructor but we do not have called it. So you have to call the primary constructor once you have written over here after the class name. Okay. So to call the primary constructor, this keyword will also be used over here. See, when I am removing that round brackets, it is okay. The code is okay now. There is no any error. But when I am writing the round brackets after the class name, it will give me the error. Okay. And the error is also what I have explained to you, that when you write any primary constructor, it need to be called. Okay. So when I am removing that brackets, then the code is okay. But when I am writing the round brackets after the class name, it means it is a primary constructor. When you have written the primary constructor, at that time you need to call the primary constructor after the secondary constructor. So for that, this keyword will also be used. So this constructor and this keyword, these both concepts need to understand parallelly, and I will give you the practical demonstration for both. So now I am writing colon and this round bracket. What I have written over here, I am writing constructor and then round bracket. Okay. So it is now a primary constructor that we have written after the class, and in the class that we have written constructor, it is our secondary constructor. So this is what the main difference. You can pass the variable also over here. You can pass the parameter to the constructor. Say for example, variable eno colon integer, variable ename colon string, and then I am writing another parameter. Say for example, variable eSalary colon long. So I am writing different kind of data types also. I have written integer, string and a long data type. So now you can see in the code there is only one error which are occurring on the line number 3, and it is occurring in the these method. So when this primary constructor will be called, see over here, when I am removing that parameter, it is giving me the error in the primary constructor also. But when I write the parameter in the primary constructor, then there is only one error occurring. It is in the these keyword. See over here, when I am writing the parameter in the primary constructor, now the error is only in particular this method. Okay, there is no any other errors in this code. So what does it means? When you created a secondary constructor, it is okay, but when you create a primary constructor, it need to be called with parameter if the parameter is there. Okay, and if there is no parameter, it will give you the error also. So when these secondary constructor will be called, it need to be called to the primary constructor, and primary constructor has 3 parameter. So that's why this Kotlin compiler gives me an error like that. If you have written the secondary constructor, you need to call the primary constructor first, and in our primary constructor there is a 3 parameter. So I am just passing a parameter 999 comma atmiya and comma salary 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So now you can see there is no any error in the particular code. Why? Because we have passed the value to our primary constructor, and this primary constructor will initialize the value for the particular object. This is what we have done till now. It is a 3 parameter, and this line is called primary constructor. Okay, that is I am selecting, and this is called a secondary constructor. To call the primary constructor, this keyword will be used also. So there is a 2 use of these keyword in the Kotlin. So now you can see in the code we have created an object, and when the object is created, then the secondary constructor will be called, and secondary constructor will call to the primary constructor with the particular parameter. See over here, when I am removing the particular parameter, the Kotlin compiler will gives me an error. What is the error? Because we have passing the value to the particular constructor. We are passing the value to the primary constructor, but primary constructor do not have any variable to catch that particular value. That is why we are getting error over here. So when I am writing the parameter name over there, it is okay now. Okay. So now we have created object name as employee1 for the particular class employee, and then when the employee will be called, it will call the secondary constructor first, and secondary constructor will call to the primary constructor with the particular value. Okay, I hope you are getting the proper idea of the constructor in the Kotlin, how it works and what is the benefit of the constructor. So these line will call to the primary constructor with the particular value. Say for example 999 will goes to the ENO parameter, Atmiya will goes to the ENAME parameter, and that particular value 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 will goes to the eSalary parameter, and it will be initialized in the object internally automatically. So now this is the object that we have created, the name is employee1, and this object has the particular value that we are passing to the primary constructor. So here I am just writing constructor1 and then $ENO. It means that I am just printing the value of the particular variable ENO, then ENAME, and then eSalary over here. Okay, so constructor 1, that is I have written over here, it will call to the primary constructor, and primary constructor will initialize the value that we are passing from the particular calling, and then this value will initialize in the particular object name as emp1. So emp1 has a 3 property now, enumber, ename, and eSalary, and all the property has is particular value for the particular object. Like I am running the file, so you will get the output and proper idea. See for example, you can see in the output we are getting constructor 1 and then 999 and then Atmiya and then the value that we are passing to the primary constructor. So this will call to the secondary will call to this means of parameter with a parameter, and all the parameter will initialize the value to the particular object. That's why we are getting a particular value of the particular parameter. Now I am just printing the value over here also. Say for example print ln emp1 dot e number. So if you want to access the property of the object, you can access by using dot operator. So you can write object name and then dot and then property name. So over here in our example, emp1 is our object. I have written dot after that and then I am just written property name, say for example e name. So when we run this file, it will print me the value of the particular property of the particular object. So now I am just running the file first. So it will print the output like as a constructor 1 with a particular parameter value, and then we are getting atmi over here. I just need to write println over here, and then you can see in the output we are getting constructor 1 is called with the particular parameter value, and then we are getting atmiya from our main method by using the object. So emp1 is our object, it will call to the secondary will call to the primary constructor, and all the value will be initialized to the particular object, and in our main method we can access the property of the particular object by using the dot operator. So there is a lot of concept we are focusing in the particular video. Say for example constructor, and then these keyword, and then parameter, and then dot operator. So these all topic we are covering in only one video, so you will get a proper and defined idea of the particular constructor, dot operator, object, class, parameter, primary constructor and secondary constructor. So by using this code you can understand the constructor, what is constructor, what is the use of constructor, that is also we have learned by using the particular practical. So now this is the secondary constructor, that is we have created in the class. It will call when the object is created, and the secondary constructor will call to the primary constructor with the particular parameter value, and the constructor will initialize the value to the particular object, and then from the main method we are accessing the property of the particular object by using dot keyword. Now I am writing another constructor over here. See for example with parameter you can do like that also. There is no any particular strategy, you can create a constructor only one. You can create a constructor, you can call a constructor multiple times, and you can create also. So here I have created a constructor with two parameter, e number and e name. So over here I am just creating another constructor with two parameter. I just need to tell you what is the difference between default constructor and a parameterized constructor. So in the line number 3 it is our secondary constructor, you can say it is a default constructor. Now I am creating a constructor with parameter. Okay, so for that I am just creating a constructor and calling a these. It means it is calling to the primary constructor. In the line number 6 I have written a these and then round bracket. It will call to the secondary constructor. I am just writing the constructor 2 over here. Say for example constructor 2 e number, e name and e salary. In the line number 6 I have written a constructor. It is a parameterized constructor. This constructor will call to the secondary constructor. Say for example this constructor has a two parameter. It means it is a parameterized constructor, and the parameterized constructor is calling to the secondary, means a default constructor, and the secondary constructor, default constructor, will call to the primary constructor with parameter. So you can see the code complexity now. So I am creating another object, variable emp2 equal to employee. So now at the time of calling I am just passing the values, say for example 500 and MCF. So these two parameter will goes to the particular constructor, parameterized constructor, and in the parameterized constructor we are writing the constructor 2 and the value of the e number, e name and e salary. Okay, so when this emp2 object is created, it will have a two parameter 500 and MCF. 500 will goes to the ENO and MCA will goes to the E name in the parameterized constructor, and then we are just printing the value of the object. Now I am running the file, so you can see over here constructor 2 with a value 500 MCA and 1 to 10. But you can see constructor 1 is called 2 times. Why? Because our parameterized constructor, I am just printing over here also. You can print the value of the particular object emp2 dot say for example name. Okay, so emp2 is another object, and this object has a particular property with a value, and then you can see we are getting Atmiya over here. So when this second object created, it will also call to the constructor 1. You can see over here we are getting a constructor 1, then constructor 2, and then the value of the particular object. What it means? It means that when the parameterized constructor will be called, it will call to the non-parameterized constructor, and non-parameterized constructor will call to the primary constructor, initialize the value, and then print the value. That's why we are getting constructor 1 as output, and then constructor 2, and then the value of the particular object that we have created for the particular class. I hope you are getting all the flow about constructor, how constructor called, and how primary constructor will be called automatically when you call the secondary constructor. So this parameter will goes to the particular parameter name as name, and 500 will goes to the number available in the parameterized constructor. So this name we are getting from the particular parameter that we are printing over here, and this salary that we are getting from the primary constructor, because you can see in our parameterized constructor there is no any parameter available for salary. Okay, so that is why I have printed name in the main method, and we are getting MCA as a value. So this name is a parameter, and we are printing the parameter over here. By using the emp2 object, we are getting the value of the particular property available to the object. So this method will call to the non-parameterized constructor, and the non-parameterized constructor will call to the primary constructor with a particular value 999, Atmiya, and 1 to 10. So these three values will be initialized to the particular object, and then the second constructor will be called with the particular parameter 500 and MCA, and it will initialize the value to the particular object. That is what the flow of this program. It will cover all the aspect of the constructor available in the Kotlin. This is what we can say a skill based learning. By using this, you will have the proper idea about constructor in the Kotlin. You can call the constructor by using these keyword also. These all the values will goes to the primary constructor and initialize in the particular object, and this is a parameterized constructor which are calling to the secondary means a non-parameterized constructor, and this is also we can say a secondary constructor in the line number 6. Okay, but a secondary constructor with a parameter, and on the line number 3 it is also a secondary constructor, but it does not have any parameter. So now when I am removing these over here, you can see it will give me the error. It need to be called to the primary constructor or a secondary constructor. You can pass the value from here also. You can pass the primary constructor from the secondary constructor like this also. This is also a different way. What it means? It means when a parameterized constructor will be called, it will directly call to the primary constructor. This is also a possible way in the Kotlin. You can do like that also. This is very interesting now, because when you call the parameterized constructor, it will call to the primary constructor, and if you call to the non-parameterized constructor, it will also call to the particular primary constructor. But for now I am just making these round brackets over here. It means it will call to the non-parameterized constructor, and these three parameters will initialize the object to the primary constructor. So now I am just printing E and O over here for the particular object name as emp2. So now I am running the file, and you can see we are getting 999 over here also, because we have printed E name and E number for the emp2 object. So emp2 is initialized with two values 500 and MCA. It will be interesting when I will print the value of the salary for the employee 2, because we do not have passed salary from over here. We are passing only two values 500 and MCA for number and name. So you can initialize the object directly from here also, by using a this keyword. This is a second use of this keyword. First, this keyword is used to call the constructor, and then it is a second use. You can initialize the object by using this keyword also. So over here I will write this.eno equal to eno. So this will refer to the object. Okay, this keyword will use to refer to the particular object. Over here we have employee 2 now. Now I will write e number over here, and we are calling the value. Now we are getting 500. See, before that we are getting 999, and now we are getting 500. This dot e name equal to e name. So now what I am doing is I am just initialize my value by calling to the particular parameterized constructor, and this value is initialized directly to my object. We are not getting any value from the primary constructor. You can see over here we are printing over here also 500 and MCA and e-salary, that we are getting e-salary from our primary constructor, because we do not have pass the particular value over here. But when I pass the particular value over here 1 to 9, 1 to 11, this will be initialized to the particular object. This is also very interesting. Now I am passing 3 parameter from here, so it will directly call to the primary constructor and initialize the value for the particular object. Name is emp2. So this is what the main usage of this keyword. This keyword is used to refer the object, is used to refer the particular object. That is why I have to write this.eno equal to eno and this.ename equal to ename. So this.eno means the eno of the particular object, and equal to eno, it means it is a parameter that we are passing to the constructor. So that's all from my side in this video. In the next video, we will discuss about what is inheritance, what is the use of inheritance, and how to do the inheritance in the Kotlin language practically. So stay tuned to my channel, like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys.